favorite preservation-related articles that I found across the web. Cultural Festival opens in ancient Pakistani ruins. In Pakistan, this past Saturday, folk dancers and singers performed on stage in one of the most ancient archaeological sites in southern Pakistan. According to the article, the festival was organized as a way to promote peace in a nation where political violence has left some 40,000 dead in recent years. Bulawaha Bhutto Zahari, the son of the assassinated Pakistani prime minister, is the one who organized the event at Mohenjo-daro. The hope is to also publicize the cultural heritage of the country's south. However, the very location of the festival created quite a stir. Archaeologists believe that the festival posed a threat to the very fragile state of the ruins because a lot of these ruins are unbaked bricks and they date back to the 3rd millennium BC. So modern ruin, a World's Fair pavilion. 50 years in the making, the mysteries of New York's World's Fair Pavilion, told by the people who lived it. Architecture in Peril is a Kickstarter project. It's regarding the New York State Pavilion that was once the shining symbol of the 1964-65 New York World's Fair. It now sits as a haunting reminder of what became of the age of optimism that was the 1960s. The Kickstarter is trying to create a film which will tell the story of Philip Johnson's New York State Pavilion during the glory days of the fair and chronicles its demise over the past 50 years. So the film is going to detail the post-fair use as 60s concert venue and as a 70s roller rink, including the years of neglect and the recent growing advocacy efforts to save and repurpose the structure. Vintage Photos, Apollo Theater in Harlem celebrates 80th anniversary. The iconic Apollo Theater is being graced from everyone from Ella Fitzgerald to Billie Holiday. And even the Obamas turns 80 years old this Sunday. While Harlem has had its ups and downs over the decades, the theater has remained a powerful source of culture and hope for the neighborhood. They've gathered up some vintage photos, if you want to check them out, starting from when the Apollo Theater was a burlesque house to the iconic Apollo Theater that we know today, which opened in 1934 to black patrons and soon became a hotspot for African American pop culture and music. Despite its success and popularity, the theater did have its problems in the 1970s. When Harlem saw an uptick in crime and the doors were shut in 1976, it reopened briefly in 1978. There was a major revival that occurred in 1981, and you can see that soon after renovations were made and the seating capacity was increased by a small percentage. In 1983, on the 50th anniversary of the theater, both the interior and the exterior of the building were designated as New York City landmarks, and 2 years later, Showtime at the Apollo, the television show based on the original Apollo Amateur Night, began airing in syndication and runs weekly on NBC affiliates in 119 markets nationwide. That has been all for Turning You On to Preservation. Don't forget to like this video, like my Facebook page, and check me out at turningontopreservation.com, and follow me on Twitter at turningyouontoprez.